All we're lacking is images of the ghost ship.
Hello everyone and welcome back, and this is part 3 of the Lighthouse disappearance episode. So Ryan, would you like to take it away?
Okay, yep, thank you very much, Annie. Today...
That was a lovely introduction.
It was
I
really
liked it. I liked
Thank
it a
you.
lot.
So, I'll put out a few theories that people have said, very brief, and then you guys just come at me with what you think your explanations are. We're going to start off with some of the logical explanations that people at the time, and even now, sort of believe may have happened. So there's quite a few. So a giant sea serpent might have been around the...
A logical explanation.
Yeah.
I thought you said logical, didn't you?
You did say
You
that.
had more logical explanation. It was a giant sea serpent.
Yeah, so giant sea serpent. Serpent. Yeah, could have been like... And then they might have been by the cliff and be like, whoa, look at that, and then it's gone.
Is it related to the Kraken?
Could have been the Kraken.
So we've got
sea serpent / Kraken.
Release the Kraken!
So we've got sea serpent or
I
Kraken.
don't know if we're going to write this one down separately because it's quite similar. Giant seabird. Now I like the fact that
Is it like Thunderbird?
Possibly. I like the fact they
Go and watch Thunderbird.
differentiated that it was still a seabird though, so like maybe a giant seagull.
Like an owl.
Which is
like a
terrifying.
massive pelican.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like swept up like Nemo's dad.
Yes. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
How big would the pelican have to be?
Big. Loads.
Big old bird.
Pretty big bird. We're staying with the logical explanation. Mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've watched
Splash.
Cryptids or Creation, but I don't know when the release is, so I don't know if it's going to be before or after this episode, so maybe cut this out. If you have, anyway, you'll know that area is related to something called storm kelpies, which are a type of mermaid.
Around the Scottish Hebrides,
Yes.
and
That-
isn't the island in the Scottish Hebrides?
Yeah. That
Ooh.
drag sailors the thing, and with mermaids, they like... they
Two-star
entice you.
significance.
Yeah, mermaids, they entice you. They're like stuck there, 3 of them, in a lighthouse together for weeks. If you see a little half fish lady swimming around like, fancy a swim? I'd be like, yeah. You're swimming.
She's just like, you can either come for a swim with me or stay in that house with them.
She's like, there, let's go. She's like, keep your clothes on. And then once you're in the water, that's it. She turns all evil. We've all seen Harry Potter and Pirates of the Caribbean. Evil, get you.
No, I can't believe you said they're evil. They're lovely. Have you not seen Splash?
They're supposed to be evil, like folklore.
Nah,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Like
I reckon what's
in
happening.
Greek mythology, sirens were like mermaids, but they sat on rocks and they sung, and you'd sail by the rocks.
I
and
can
they'd
tell you what's
crash.
happened.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's happened. All the mermaids, as we know from all the movies, are always good looking.
No, they're not. Have you seen Harry Potter? Have
Okay.
you seen Harry Potter?
Apart from them. But
Tell me.
have you ever seen a good looking seaman? No.
Look and see.
Mandacy?
Yeah.
No. Apart from Finnick. He wasn't really a seaman. So I reckon it was like, I'm going to go and try my luck with my big rum belly.
Yeah.
All the pirates.
I don't-
And they rejected them. So they went back to them and said, they're evil, those mermaids. She tried to pull me under.
No.
She turned into like a really ugly beast. That's what happened.
Seamen back in the day were like strong. They were fat.
They were strapping men.
Yeah, they were like
Yeah, they probably
they had to do a lot of
they were,
work.
they were strapping men to impress each other.
Anyway, still got some more theories.
Nah,
this is good though. It's open discussion.
Definitely got rejected by mermaids. That's definitely not the,
So-
the theory of them being evil.
Giant sea serpent, giant seabird, mermaids. There's one here that's a bit more illogical.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bit more illogical. Giant sea serpent, giant seabird, mermaids.
Something ain't right.
They
Oh, because the others are so
yeah,
much
this
trouble.
one's like they wanted new lives, so they'd arrange for like another vessel to come pick them up and take them to America, and they could start a new life in America. Sort of time when that would happen. These 2 of the guys were married though. One of them had 2 children, one of them had 4 children.
Yeah.
You decide whether that means they are more likely to want to run away to America or less likely.
I'm leaving. leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again.
Probably.
No comment.
Probably
Yeah.
more likely. But
Yeah.
Just be like, I've just spent 6 weeks on this island and I have to go into 4 screaming kids. It's enough to make your money. Chuck yourself in the sea.
Exactly. Another one, they could have been abducted by spies.
Why would a spy want the
Does it say what
lighthouse?
war is going on there? There isn't.
There isn't.
No, you don't
war.
need- Whoa. Spies do their best work in between war years. You gather information, and then
True.
when the war kicks off, you've got the intelligence.
We were planning for 17 years in the future.
Yeah.
Not 14 years in the future, sorry.
Yeah, we did have conflicts between 1900 and 1914. Another one for you.
Go on.
One I really enjoy. A boat filled with ghosts.
So
I
a
like
ghost
that
ship
one.
came.
I like
Yes. Yeah, like the way it was worded, it was boat filled with ghost filled with boat. No, boat filled with ghosts. It sounds really stupid, but yeah, it's basically like it's
A
called
ghost ship.
the Phantom of the Seven Islands, because there's 7 floating
Yeah.
islands. Yeah, like a ghost ship that sails, and it's quite like it's like a legend. I think it might have been a legend before this happened.
Okay.
Spectre, phantom ship would sail through the islands.
Do you
And
think
often in these things, don't they have a storm and that like
Yeah,
that's how they
feeds
come?
them?
Davy Jones,
Yeah.
Flying
Did,
Dutchman.
did they come and get them to be like work on their ghost ship? Do you reckon?
Exactly.
It's like
I like that one.
it's like when Gary Oldman turns everyone into sea creatures in not Gary Oldman. Bill Nye turns everyone into sea creatures in Pirates of the Caribbean.
The thing that I
You know,
just
he's got
feel
squid
like
face.
Yeah.
this man was crying. I feel like he's got something to do with it.
Big tough guy, MacArthur.
I think even him crying, I think he's got, this is my theory, he's got a screw loose and I don't know,
And
something
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. So yeah, we can throw theories out there. I'm just gonna throw some more illogical ones at you. Ship captains thinks they were blown off the cliff. Like the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard.
did you call that the illogical one?
Yeah.
So
No.
wait, no. So they're on a small island,
Yeah.
which has probably got very like steep cliff faces, and there's a very bad storm,
Yeah.
and they could have been standing on the edge and got blown over, and that's ridiculous.
3 men standing on the edge of the cliff.
So
at the same time.
so one gets thrown in, the other one goes to try and get
No,
him.
that's
then
lemmings.
the third one
You're
comes.
describing the game, lemmings there. You don't go, oh, I'll stand at the cliff, blown off. Maybe something will happen if I go and stand in it. No.
So you think it's completely illogical that one person fell in, another one was like, oh, what was the names? What were the names?
James, Donald, what are all the names?
Yeah.
James, Donald, and come on,
Like Graham or something.
Thomas.
Okay.
So
Big Graham was there as well.
Big Don. Well, Big Don.
Yeah.
He gets pushed in to the sea from the wind.
Yeah.
Tom goes, James. Don's gone in. Fucking hell. They're like, we're gonna have to go and get him.
Right.
Tom goes in and then realizes this is I'm in the middle of the sea in a storm. James thinks, oh, fuck. I've heard about why there's 3 of us. They're all gonna think it's me. I better go and try and get them. All drown at sea.
I've got a better theory.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too illogical. Like if there was a storm
Yeah,
raging
so
on,
so
if
illogical.
there's a storm raging on, I'd be like, listen guys, sod our jobs, sit in here, biscuits, cup of tea.
What if
wait for it
they
to
what
roll
if they
back.
were outside and then the storm it settled down a bit, so they thought one of them thought I'll go outside and do my job. Like they made
Hell yeah.
like you know like the young one, they go, oh, you're gonna have to go and do it. So he goes and does it, and then it picks up a bit, and then
Tell you another flaw in your plan. You're saying one guy's blown off, the other one's like
Yeah.
coming at me. All 3 of them are out the lighthouse.
yeah.
All 3 of them left. Can't happen.
Oh.
It's against lighthouse rules. One man has to be in the lighthouse at all times.
So what you're telling me is,
You get
the-
fined. You get fined.
how would they know if that they left the lighthouse?
Random inspections. They used to do them.
So the random inspection is going to come in the middle of a storm
Yeah.
when the relief team isn't allowed to turn up. So the random inspection can turn up, but
Is
the relief
that
team
not the
can't.
best time for an inspection?
No, that's the best time to die at sea in the boat, which is why the relief team
I'm just
didn't come.
saying, if it was me, I'd be like, can't leave the lighthouse, guys.
So,
I've got a better idea.
if all 3 of us are at the lighthouse,
Yeah.
I fall in, Annie goes, Ryan, Reese has done it, Annie, he's thrown himself in, oh, he's fell in. You would go, Sorry, Annie. Sorry. He's gonna have to drown because you never know that the inspector might turn up and we'll all get fined.
And what about my idea?
I'd basically say I can't swim, so if you can, Annie, you go and have a good go and try and fish yourself.
In this
I'll
scenario,
get the
you
kettle
can.
on.
In this scenario, you can swim.
I get the kettle on. One way we're gonna have
How about this?
a memorial tea or a celebratory tea.
Go on. Then.
Right, we thought that one of them likes to brawl, one of them was crying, one of them was clearly unhinged.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what I think has happened is, I don't know the names, I can't remember. Man 1 has got a bit
It
emotional.
was Big Don,
Right, what, yeah.
Small James, and Medium Tom.
Okay, but one of them, the unhinged one, can't remember when, is that Big Dom?
It is, yeah.
Right.
Big Don. He was the one that I said fell in. That was great.
No,
That was a great show.
he obviously reaches breaking point, has a scuffle, kills man 2, don't know which one, gets on a boat, and then man 3 left on the island is going to shit himself and be like, I'm scared that now I'm going to look like I've killed this other man. And then he goes out to sea to try and catch up with him, and then they both die at sea.
How about this? It's building on what you've said. Dom, unhinged, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't kill someone. He's like, at this point, they think they've been left on the island forever. Maybe Dom's like, it's better for me to just throw myself in the sea and get this over with than stay here and then die of starvation and dehydration, stuff like that. So Don throws himself in. James sees, doesn't want him to die. Maybe they're very good friends to start with. Doesn't realise that he's thrown himself in. He just sees him falling. Shouts to Tom. Tom obviously goes, I can't help you now, I'm going to stay in the lighthouse. Doesn't do that. He comes out and like maybe one of them jumps in and the other's like watching to make sure they're all okay. Get into trouble. He thinks if they both die, they're going to think I've done it. That's why they brought this law into place. Thinks and like doesn't really think through about drowning. Jumps in like as an immediate reaction. All 3 drown.
Yeah. There's 2 more theories that were coming up, and they were quite similar. One is just they all got into a brawl outside, and eventually that took them to the cliffs.
So all 3 of them getting into a brawl is more ridiculous. What? I thought that they couldn't. You said one of them has to stay in. Couldn't get involved in the brawl.
Well, the one that wanted to stay in got brawled out. Like you were like, right, get out here. And I'm
So
like,
they both
no,
decide.
me.
The other 2
Get
are
me
in
a
a
sleeper hold. Stop dragging me out.
The other 2 are in a fight and just go. You know what would be better if we brought James into this.
No,
James, get your ass out here
What
now.
happened is unhinged and not unhinged are fighting outside. Obviously, the guy inside see what's going on. The
Tries
guy
to break it up.
gets in, tries to break it up. But then unhinged kills not unhinged.
Yeah.
And then unhinged goes, well, you know, I've killed him now. Kills second man, then he just kills him. So.
See, yeah, that was one of my other ones. That or kills 2 of them, is dumping the bodies.
And falls in.
Yeah, and then on a big
He goes
wave.
to throw it. You know like when you're bowling and you
Yeah.
accidentally
Yes,
keep hold of it
yeah.
and you like go flying.
So,
You're just
yeah.
like out here and like, oh!
Yeah.
So that's not a real possibility. Some
No.
sort of fight.
Yeah.
Or you like say kills 2 guys, kills
Yeah.
yourself.
Because you can imagine thinking you've been left there.
Mhm.
That would drive someone to.
Probably, I think, yeah. Even if you're only there for an extra few days, and the storm's carrying on, you might think that the storm's not going to finish and they're never going to come get you. So then you might start thinking, oh, I'm going to be here forever, and then that would drive you more. insane.
Yeah.
Like probably by the end of the 6 weeks, you've got a
Yeah.
really bad cabin fever anyway.
Yeah.
Like horrendously, I imagine. I imagine that's why you're only allowed to stay there for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And probably now it'd be less.
I got cabin fever and capital letters in this document.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, probably cabin fever.
Yeah.
So I think if we're all done with the discussion,
Yeah.
we can start wrapping up. So as you've seen, we usually do a nut score. Now there's no solid theory. So what I thought we could do this episode is there a theory that you guys think you could give an S, which is our highest thing, a solid that we think is pretty much fact? Is there a theory you could give an S to, and would you like to give that theory?
So before we go into that, I'm going to list off your illogical ones and you can tell me what you think, because you've already
You
said
want me to give
it.
them like S? You
Yeah.
think?
Sea serpent kraken.
You.
Unsure. Sea serpent kraken.
You.
I'm going to give it an N.
An N?
Yep. Giant
Whoa,
seabird.
whoa. Why?
I don't think the kraken hangs out in Scotland.
Why?
I think it's too cold for him.
I think he migrates north.
Well, why
in the middle
not?
of a storm. Cold? Are we freezing? God.
Why is he-
he is the storm.
Yeah.
You fool.
Giant seabird.
N.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a U. Mermaids. I give it like 2 extra stars.
You.
U.
P.
Potential.
Lower P.
So I think it would be a potential for one reason only. They imagined it.
Right.
They
Okay.
imagined mermaids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my theory at the end.
That's fine.
So I'll give it a P.
P.
In brackets, a P.
I'm up for that.
New Life in America. That's actually not a bad show.
P.
Giving that a U.
I'll give it a U.
Only because at the time.
It'd be hard to get out
Yeah,
there.
at the
There's
time
no
you
boat.
need like the Titanic to sail across the Atlantic to
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
They
And
couldn't
we know how
go
that
there.
ended.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be a pretty like bang on vessel. Then they'd have to pick them up and take them to America. So yeah, a U for me, but
Abducted by spies.
You.
yeah,
I think it's boring.
I'll give it an.
yeah, it's very boring.
Yeah. If it was aliens, it'd be higher. Ghost ship.
Upper P.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry, no, come on, no.
Ryan thinks it's almost.
An upper U.
Upper U.
Upper
Yeah.
U. I will also go for a top tier.
Ryan thinks it's basically
I'll-
fact.
It's like
Ryan thinks
all
it's
we're
like
lacking is images of the ghost ship. Once we've got them, then it's an S. No, it's an upper U. I
Okay.
nearly said upper P again.
I'll give
so
you an upper N.
I'm upper U, not an upper P. Don't be locking me up.
Alright, now we'll get down to your real theory.
I probably think the one I'd give S to is Cabin Fever. Just because the log earlier on, if I'm thinking about this logically, a bit unhinged, Big Dom is unhinged.
Yeah.
And if you thought that you've been abandoned, they would drive you to do some crazy stuff. So,
100%.
because then you've got nothing to live for, and there's nothing more dangerous than men. Have nothing to live for. I swear that's a film quote.
What movie is that from?
I don't know. I swear.
Stick that in the edits.
I'm gonna edit out saying that last bit and just say there's nothing more dangerous than men.
That's what it was.
No, yeah.
There's nothing more dangerous than men.
Not more dangerous than men.
There's nothing more dangerous than someone of any gender that has nothing left to live for.
It's
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
Okay, so I have 2 separate theories, all around the same idea. So the first one, I'm gonna get the whimsical one first. So, Big Dom, unhinged.
Yeah.
He's gone mad. He by probably the 4th week he was going a bit mental, and the other 2 like keep an eye on him. He goes out, and maybe the storm's died down a little bit. He sees in the water mermaid.
Yeah.
And she was like
Straight in
what?
there,
And he was like what you said earlier on when he was like, if you saw a mermaid, he was like, do you want to come first? And he was like, yeah.
Fish Shakiba. Yes, please.
Does she have hips?
Yes.
That don't lie.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, throws himself in. James is like, fuck's sake, man. Calls out to Tom, or the other way around. And like, he's gone in. He thinks, wait, they might not know that he just thinks he's thrown himself in. They're just like, we're gonna have to get him because it'll look suspicious otherwise. So they play rock, paper, scissors. I'm gonna say Tom loses. Tom has to jump in. Tom's like, then James sees Tom and Dom like struggling, and he goes, if they both die, I'm 100% going to prison. And he was like, right, I'll have to come get them. Jumps in, all 3 drown horrifically. Maybe actually when they first went in it was okay, but Dom was so convinced that he'd seen a mermaid, he was like punching thingy off, so he was like, get in here, coming out me like, get him. So they're like, I'll do it, and then just like and then the storm picks up, maybe one of them like hits the head on the stone rock on the side, and then they die. I like that one. But what I think really happened is one of them fell in, the other 2 went out together. In any situation whatsoever, like you said, the kind of fever. I think either somebody threw themselves in who was getting like cabin fever, or one of them fell in because of the wind, and one of them jumped in, and the same reason I had before. The last one was like, I can't leave them. And that's what happened.
Okay.
Or one push the other in.
Plus, the island isn't like an island like a beach.
No. It's a rock.
It's a rock. So usually, if you like, a lot of people that drown, like, you know, they get pulled out of the tide, they'll get brought back in. But if it's an island, there's not really a tide. There's no tide to bring you back in. So there's just currents. So it'd be, if you fell in, you're not like, if you die and get thrown in, you're not gonna like wash up on shore. You're gonna go down. You're gonna get moved.
Yeah.
Where, you know, like most people will say, oh well, why if they fell in, the bodies would like wash up on shore. There's no shore. There's no tide really.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you know that the bodies were never found. They got swept out.
Okay.
What about your theory?
Yeah. Despite me enjoying mermaids and
I put mermaids in.
I know
For you.
But to be fair, I think realistically what happened was storms kicking off. I think they died on the 15th of December. I don't think they died all the way.
Yeah, they probably died a lot earlier.
I think they died. They were dead by the time that boat saw
Yeah.
it wasn't on. I think storms kicking off. You get fined if any equipment on the island's damaged because that's part of your duty. You're also caretaker of the island. So on that western side, I imagine there's equipment, and they're worried about it getting damaged. And the storm, like from the thing they said, it's like ripped rain, and that was really strong, and they were worried about that. So I think 2 of them have gone down, oilskins, jackets, it's a thing here. They've been fixing rigging, maybe wind or sea has came, took one, and the other guy has gone and got the other guy, and they're like, we need to get him. He's come, and then.
I thought you said 3. I thought you said 1 person had to walk in the lighthouse.
Well, no. That's the rule.
Or how could it be if 2 went out and never came back and 1 guy loses his shit?
That's basically.
I think all 3 of our theories all hold solid.
I'd say let us know your theories.
Yes, you let us know. Mine isn't the. Oh, mine murdered. But you let us know out of the 3 of us which one you think is the most likely to have happened.
Definitely, yeah.
I like all 3. Now that Ryan said his, that could be. I feel like that could be. Mainly because, like you said, if you thought you either risk going out the lighthouse, and I think you would know an inspector isn't going to turn up because the relief team.
You're more likely to get fined for the equipment.
This is the thing. You either risk getting fined because you're just like, if the inspector happens to turn up right this moment, or you're guaranteed to get fined. And at that time, they probably got paid nothing. So a fine would be like probably the whole wage for staying there. And you'd be like, I'm not staying there for 4 weeks to get paid nothing. So yeah, I think they're all good. They're all good.
So that's where we'll wrap it up. The Lighthouse disappearance.
The Lighthouse disappearance, guys. Let us know what you think.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Notifications.
Also, subscribe to us on the podcasting apps.
Yeah, listen to the podcast. This episode will be extended on the podcast, so there might be some information you're missing out on YouTube. So go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, Caesar, Spreaker, and listen to the podcast and let us know what you think. And you can always drop us an email. That's in the description of the video.
And don't forget, watch those ads.
Right, yeah.
Thanks, guys.